Hi, my name is Blaine, and all summer long I will be going along with you to all of these different historic sites and giving you a sneak peek of what you can expect whenever you get here. Sites include the Stern Hoya House, the Durst Taylor Home and Garden, the Zion Hill Baptist Church, and more. Built in 1830, the Stern Hoya House was used as a local meeting place for political meetings and welcomed prominent guests such as Sam Houston, Davy Crockett, and Thomas J. Rusk. Now, almost 200 years later, the house still stands as one of the town's oldest frame houses still on its original site. Hi, my name is Blaine Williamson, and today we're going to be stepping inside and taking a look at this piece of history.
The Stern Hoya House is one of 4 sites that the City of Nacogdoches operates, and all of those sites are free admission. This house is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And when they get to the home, they get a guided tour by our museum assistants. They'll tour them around the house and answer any questions that they have. And there's so much to see here. We have a lot of the furnishings from the Stern and mostly the Hoya family. We have quite a bit of artifacts from the Hoya family, which were the second family to live here, and then donated the building to the city to serve first as a library and then a museum. So one fun feature here is Adolphus Stern. We have his diary, and we know that by the diary that he enjoyed entertaining. So we do have one of the first wine cellars ever built in Nacogdoches, and oddly enough, it's in the library area, but there is a cellar that visitors can walk down and see where they would have stored spirits as well as fruits and vegetables. That's how they kept things cold before air conditioning and refrigeration. When the home was donated to the city in the mid-50s, it was the first public library of Nacogdoches, so there were books all over the home. But before they knew better, the home started shifting because it wasn't built to carry the weight of the books, but we did keep a section of the home to kind of represent what the library looked like, and we do have some of that collection still here today. And people are welcome. A lot of the books, they can't check out, but they can come in. We have a lot of history and genealogy books that they can come in and do research about the home or Nacogdoches history. A lot of people come in looking for more information about their personal histories as well.
The Durst Taylor House and Garden has been home to many prominent guests such as Bennett Blake and Thomas J. Rusk. Now, almost 200 years later, the house still stands as the second oldest frame house in Nacogdoches. Today, guests are welcome to take a tour of the property as well as taking a step back into history to see what it was like to live so long ago.
It was built in 1835 by Joseph Durst and his family. There was a home here before, but it was taken down to build this structure, so that's why it's named after the Durst family. And then over time, between 1835, when it was built, and 1950s, 60s, it was lived in by several different families. The family that the house is interpreted to is the Lucy and John Blackburn family. So when they lived in the house, we have records of the furniture and everything that they have, so the interior of the house looks just like it did whenever they lived here in the 1840s to 1860s. On the tour, we start in the barn that's in the back of the property. So the barn is not a historic building, but it was built in the 2000s to house the exhibit that talks about each of the families. Because there were about 15 owners of the house, we kind of draw it all into the exhibit to kind of explain each of their roles, their place in Nacogdoches history, and of course what was happening in Texas at the time. So after the look at the exhibit, they'll take you around to some of the historically interpreted buildings. You've got the chicken house, the blacksmith shop, the smokehouse, and then they'll take you to the oldest part of the property, of course, the house itself.
My name is Blaine Williamson, and today we are outside the Nacogdoches Railroad Depot taking a look at one of NAC's 4 historic sites. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this dive into a piece of history.
There are 4 historic sites that the City of Nacogdoches operates, and this is one of 4, which all of them are on the scavenger hunt as well. This building was built originally as a wooden structure in 1910, burned down after a lightning strike, and then was rebuilt as the brick structure you see today in 1911. And of course, the train depot has a lot of historical significance to Nacogdoches and brought a lot of economic growth in the early 1900s. The exhibit here is also really beautiful. We worked with an exhibit design company, and it really tells the kind of parts of the history of the depot, kind of the early stages. The railroad actually was quite a not a smooth ride railroad, so you kind of learn about how the different challenges they face, and of course the different people that worked on the train, and the experience that people had getting on a train and going either to the circus, going to military service, going to visit family, and things like that. So here at the train depot, we have different events throughout the year. This summer we'll do Junior Engineer Days every other Thursday. We'll set up kids activities, some train toys, a craft that they really enjoy. And then one of our most popular events here at the depot happens starting right after Thanksgiving. We have the Loblolly model train display. So Mr. George Ellis is gracious to work with us. He has a full model train set. He spends almost a month setting it up, and then of course we invite the public for free to come look at the train, experience kind of what the little village, how the trains would have run through Nacogdoches in different areas. So it's a really neat exhibit.
So as you can see, the Nacogdoches Railroad Depot is a spot that members of the community can come out and enjoy some history as well as having some quality family time.
The Zion Hill Baptist Church has been home to one of the oldest African American congregations in the state of Texas. Built in 1914, the church still stands on its original site. The congregation had to leave the church when the church began having foundational issues. Now today, church members can come back to the old building and see its new life.
Full restoration began in 2020, and of course with some understandable delays. The project continued through 2023 when we were open to the public. Some of the restoration includes a lot of removal of rotting wood, replacement of rotting wood. The floors had to be redone. There were some holes because of water damage, another new roof. Some of the windows in the basement were replaced, and just some modern things like a modern sprinkler system. It's such a unique space. It was built with a blend of Victorian and Gothic Revival elements. You have a lot of pretty innovative features. You've got originally these pocket doors on the side would have lifted into the walls. In the baptistry area, you have a roll-away door for the baptistry, and just some, like I said, innovative features for when it was built in 1914, and just the architecture is really beautiful. We are working on a full museum exhibit in the annex area of the church that'll be up when it's not being rented for weddings and so on. And that exhibit will kind of share the history of the church, the people who grew up going to different services here, and how it impacted the neighborhood. And we're just really excited to get all that started. And but of course the site is open Wednesday through Friday 10 to 4, and then on the first 2 Saturdays of every month 10 to 4. People can come look at the beautiful church. We'll tour them around, talk a little bit about the congregation and the history.
The Zion Hill Baptist Church still stands as a beautiful historic site and is free for the public to take a tour. Until next time, I'm Blaine Williamson.